Hey guys, Christina here. Welcome to my channel and thank you for taking some time out of your day to spend it here with me. Today I wanted to talk about some of the hardships of getting separated and becoming a single mother. Some of the tips that I want to share are a few that were told to me that I didn't listen and I wish that I had listened to, and then some are tips, things that I have discovered on my own. And every relationship is different, every separation is different, and everybody goes through different trials and tribulations. Some of the things that I might have gone through, you hopefully may not, and some of the things that you might go through, I may not have gone through. So the first thing I would like to say is, if this video finds its way to somebody that is in their early 20s and is not yet married and thinking about it, I hope I can catch you before you do it. And I would suggest waiting until, like I tell my daughters, wait until you're 30 to get married, or close to 30, because you really don't know who you are before then. You're going to learn so much and you're going to change so much throughout the years, and the person that you're with right now may not change and grow at the same rate or in the same direction as you. So I don't think there's anything wrong with waiting a little longer and getting to know yourselves and getting to know each other before you take that next step, because it's a serious step that you're going to be taking. And if this video finds its way to somebody that is already, been married a few years and just feels like they can't do it anymore, if your relationship is not toxic, if there isn't any abuse, if you kind of just feel like you have drifted apart, but you still feel like it's a healthy relationship, I would suggest both of you putting in the work and kind of reigniting that spark. It's not easy being separated. It's not easy going through a divorce, especially when kids are involved. So if you have the opportunity to work on it together and both of you are willing to do your part, I would really suggest doing that, because everybody goes through different hardships with separation, but it's always going to be hard in one way or another. It's not going to be easy. On the other hand, if your relationship is toxic, if there is any kind of abuse, I would say you should start thinking about a separation and start thinking about a game plan. A book that I read before I got separated was Why Does He Do That? And that book helped me so much. And it talks about abusive relationships and the fact that abuse is not only physical, it's emotional, it's financial, it's sexual, and it can just take on varying degrees of abuse and different forms of abuse. And if you find yourself in one of these situations, it is better for you, for your partner, and especially for your children, for you to find a way out of that kind of relationship. I really do suggest reading that book or listening to it on Audible or Hoopla. If you have a public library, you can listen to it for free. That's how I got it, and I listened to it. And he gives you a lot of really good suggestions and just gives you the power to feel like you can do it, because it's something that I never thought that I could do. That listening to the book and hearing all the stories that he shares and all the experience that he has, it was beneficial for me. Now you're at the point where you have made the decision of leaving or not leaving. And if you decide to leave, one of the first pieces of advice that was given to me that I didn't listen to, that I wish I had, was a friend of mine told me that his family is going to be his family and on his side, and my family is going to be my family and they're going to be on my side. And when she told me that, I just thought it was ridiculous, because these are people that I have known for half of my life, that I had treated very well, and that had me in very high regard. And I did not think that a separation would change that. And it did not for everybody, but there were a few people that I was very close to that right away turned on me, and it just caught me off guard. And I feel like if I had been prepared, it might have made things a little bit easier, but I really thought that things were not going to change, and they were such a big part of my life. I wish I had taken that piece of advice and kind of put a guard up and had myself emotionally ready for that. And I'm drinking wine out of a mason jar because this discussion is going to warrant this, I'm sure. The second piece of advice that I wish that I had taken that I didn't was when I first left and I went to go look for an apartment. The person in the office at the apartment building, she and I were talking, and so she found that I was, newly separated, and she told me that I should not try to be the nice guy. she had been the nice guy in the end of her relationship and throughout the divorce, and that it didn't play out the way that she thought that it would play out. And so she told me that I should not try to be the nice guy. But of course, everybody that knows me and that really knows me, not secondhand knows me, knows that I always tried to be the nice guy, and I did. And where I am right now, I really don't have the desire to start going back and changing things now. What's done is done, and I really just want to leave, you know, the past in the past. But if I was to go back, and if I was to give somebody advice that is going to be going through this process, I would say, don't try to be the nice guy. Now, I'm not saying to be evil and cold-hearted and take them for everything that they're worth, but I am saying to be fair, and I do suggest getting a lawyer and going through them and getting everything done legally the way that it should be, through the courts, with no emotions involved, with nobody trying to hurt or help anybody else, just the way that things should be. I tried to be the nice guy, and I did things as painlessly as I could, and it ended up costing me so much money and so much time, when I could have just done everything in the beginning, not had my emotions or their emotions involved, and just done it the way that it should have been. But like I said, here I am 3 years later, and I really have no desire of changing anything or going back. I'm fine. The girls are fine. And thankfully, God has been there with us, and we are all just blossoming. Something else that I think is important, and I have kind of alluded to in previous videos, is just about the mom guilt and the mom shame, and how you really need to let that go. Part of that mom guilt is going to be where you feel like, especially if you were the one that made the decision, going to feel like you hurt your child and you just did this to them, when you really are doing this for them and for yourself. And you may try to overcompensate by giving them extra gifts or extra things to make them happy, because you feel that guilt, you feel that shame, and you just want to do and go over and above for them. But it really is not necessary. At the end of the day, they're gonna know, and they're gonna feel the difference of this happy home that you are going to be creating for them. And those unnecessary gifts are not gonna benefit anybody. They are not gonna be good for your budget, and they are not gonna be teaching your child anything positive. Another thing that's gonna be really hard, it's gonna be hard if your child's other parent is in their life, and it's going to be hard if they're not. If they're not in their life, you're going to have them 24/7. You're not going to get a break, and it's going to be very hard, and you're going to have to work extra hard to be forgiving to yourself and just let things slide and rest when you can. And it's going to be hard if the other parent is in their life, because you're going to miss them when they're gone. I had such a hard time because I'm just so close to my girls that when they would go off with their dad, I mean, it was just a lot of afternoons of crying myself to sleep and not doing anything productive. I would always say, when they go with their dad, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then when they were gone, I just felt so sad and so depressed that I would just be here at home just crying or doing nothing. And it's not that I didn't have friends that would invite me, you know, over or want to come over. I think I just really needed that time to myself, to get to know myself, to think, and to grow. While it is still really hard now when they go off and I don't have them here with me, I do try to make the most of it. I try to work a little bit extra, save a little bit of extra money, and that's hopefully going to pay off in the future and help us reach our goals that we have together. I remember one week I watched the whole series of Reba. Every afternoon I would just come home and I would cry, and then I would put on Reba, and she really helped me kind of get through it when I was alone, or I felt like I was alone and I really needed that time. And it really was helpful for me. It helped me heal. If you have any other advice for other moms that are going to be going through this situation, anything that kind of helped you get through it or you think can help others to get through it, please comment below, share. Let's create a community where we encourage each other and we help each other. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. I have my link down below. And thanks for watching. Bye.